Yeah, did you see it?
Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu-alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair agale, ni hao, chunashumme, washmale. Ohaya gonzaimas, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privet, kaifa hal? Hale shuma chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba. Buna, mucho gracias, swabi, balli kare aya, hoj gaya de nanayo sayo, khuya mora, chi vato, chi hal jod, kali mera khairutan. And a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning. I'm very well and who happens to be Miss Naila Shuja. I happen to be Shahzad Hasan Khan. And we hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. But first things first, hello Naila, assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic, Shahzad. It is Monday. It is time to annihilate the week, I say. Am I right?
Yeah. I think it's great because it's the start of the week and previous week, we did, a couple of shows which were massive. I think
congratulations.
We've had a lot of response come in from a lot of people all over the globe as well, for all of our fans, viewers, everybody. Thank you so much for writing to us. It was wonderful to read and go through all of those messages which you wrote. But here we are with a fresh start to the week as well, ladies and gentlemen. But first things first, obviously it feels like as if, because I was in Lahore this weekend, and unfortunately, imagine, because I am an avid fan of Nihari, so I had Nihari and I had meaty lassi with it.
Oh my
and then while I was having Nihari, I thought I should actually bring it for my, parents and my kids. So imagine I brought it and then I had Nihari again, and I'm not feeling well now. So that's too much of Nihari. So for everybody and anybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you take like balanced food, in equal quantities, where you do know for a fact that your body can actually take all of that, whatever you're giving it. But I think over a weekend, dripping or probably trolling onto Nihari is something which I actually love doing the most as well. But I don't know whether we should do it very regularly or not.
No, I don't think so, Shahzad. I really don't think so. I don't think that's healthy for anyone. But
while I was in Lahore, it was raining in Lahore over the weekend, which is why I would want to kind of speak about the weather. And while speaking about the weather, mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very cold and hilly areas during next 24 hours. According to Met Office, moderate to dense fog in patches is likely in upper parts of Sindh and most parts of Punjab during the forecast period. Met Office informed that continental air is prevailing over most parts of the country. Yes, so please be mindful, because imagine when I left for Lahore, it was somewhere around 1 in the morning, and it was really foggy and it was really difficult for me. So I had to have like a couple of other people to sit in my car so we can drive in,
a formation,
with different brakes and whatnot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The weather everywhere is just turning absolutely insane. And speaking of that, did you guys see the wildfires in Los Angeles? It's absolutely horrific. There's the firefighters in Los Angeles are battling the most massive wildfires, around Los Angeles as the winds have ramped up. They're pushing the blazes towards the previously untouched neighborhoods. As you can see the visuals, viewers, at least 24 people are confirmed to be dead from these fires. And these fires have ripped through the city and leaving their communities in ruins. And they're basically testing the mettle of thousands of firefighters and millions of Californians. So despite the heroic effort, including the precision sorties from the aerial crews and the Palisades, fire continues to grow, pushing eastwards and the priceless collections of the Getty Center, the Art Museum, and north to the densely populated San Fernando Valley as well. More than 150,000 people in Los Angeles County were also evacuated under these orders. Absolutely horrific.
And certainly we are obviously praying for each and every individual who might be trapped within these wildfires as well. And the world actually stands with them because of this disaster, which has actually caused a lot of people to die, unfortunately. And certainly, it's a human error, and that gentleman has been arrested as well. But while we're at it, I think there's one more thing which I would want to kind of share, and that is that now, in the couple of days where we have seen Los Angeles burn down to ground, certainly the world actually speaks about it, and I think that the world really need to speak about Palestine and Gaza as well, because they've been burning for the longest period of time. So all of those people who are out there, in such a tyranny, and not just that, in such disasters, our prayers go for you and for your families as well.
Absolutely.
While we're at it, I think, me and Naila, we've always spoken about girls' education and how important it is, and, what really needs to be done in making sure that we give, that there's inclusive education, that there's equality in our education system. But imagine, guess what? I think Higher Education Commission has been doing a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
And it's because of the fact that they actually organized a conference on girls' education in Muslim communities, challenges and opportunities. It was a two-day event on the 11th and 12th of January. The global summit aims to address the challenges and opportunities in advancing girls' educations across Muslim communities worldwide, foster dialogue and find actionable solutions to address these challenges. The conference will provide, or has actually provided, an ideal platform for high-level discussions and collaborations. There were 150 international dignitaries, including ministers, ambassadors, scholars, and academia from 44 Muslim and friendly countries, representatives from international organizations, including UNESCO, UNICEF, and the World Bank. Speakers and panelists who share transformative success stories. Not just that, the event was actually inaugurated by the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Muhammad Shahbaz Sharif, who delivered the keynote address at the opening session, reaffirming the nation's commitment to promoting girls' education and gender equality. So congratulations to the Ministry of Federal Education and Professional Training and Higher Education Commission. And we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by the man of the hour himself, the Chairman Higher Education Commission, Dr. Mukhtar Ahmed. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm not, I don't know that many, those words you started with, good morning, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much. A little correction, Shahzad, it was organized by Ministry of Federal Education, basically. Okay. Of course, we are part of the ministry, so we are also honored that, but mainly it was the ministry function. And you're right, it is very important topic. Sometimes miscommunicated, kind of information in the world, rest of the world, especially when they're focusing Islam, Islamophobia. They always blame that in Islamic country they are not focusing on education, as particularly in women education. To some extent in few countries, yes, this is reality also, in Pakistan. But Alhamdulillah, in Pakistan, in higher education sector, I think we have, with the help of government of Pakistan, the government has transformed the higher education sector. I remember when HEC was created in 2001, in tertiary education, the female population was only 32%.
That's it.
While in our population, we are almost 50-50.
Yeah.
And
49-51 probably.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, little bit males are higher, but this is a good sign. And but in the higher education sector, it was 32 to 68%. With these 23 years of whatever investment government has made in higher education sector, I think it is the one of its kind in the rest of the world example that in this speed we have transformed it. We are right there right now, 48 to 52.
Wow.
It is almost there. So this is a big achievement in higher education sector by the government of Pakistan, where the 50% of our population, they have decided they want to come in the mainstream and they want to contribute in the socio-economic development of their beloved country, Pakistan. This is the big news, basically.
Exactly.
Yes, this conference was very important, and especially when Secretary General OIC was here, Rabta al-Islami head was, Dr. Isa was also here, and so many dignitaries. It was a 2 days.
Yes, was there, UNICEF was there.
Yes, of course. No, they were just observer participating, but mainly it was Pakistan, government of Pakistan, OIC, and Rabta al-Islami.
Wow.
So this were the three main.
So sir, to have 150 international dignitaries, including ministers, ambassadors, and all of those people.
Many ministers were there.
Which is why now I think first of all, congratulations to Higher Education Commission for doing such a wonderful job. That when
again Ministry of Education.
No, in perspective, to obviously said the HEC works under the Ministry.
Why you are after my job?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Well, if you allow me to complete, what I'm trying to say over here is that obviously it's the initiatives that HEC has taken, which is why that the education statistic stands at 48% female and 52% males. That's exactly.
So we are almost there. I said 50-50.
Yeah. So we're almost there. So I think congratulating the Ministry and Higher Education Commission on this.
Actually, Government of Pakistan, yes, because.
And Government of Pakistan. All right. But now let's come down to some where we speak about the conference as well. Now imagine that that the summit was to address the challenges and opportunities in advancing girls' education across Muslim countries worldwide. What were the keynotes which were taking or were exchanged in between the dignitaries?
Basically, there were multiple sessions. Even Malala was here. She also spoke well on girls' education, basically. One thing is perception and the other thing is ground reality. So they started from the start that what was the message giving to us, Ikra base mero bikalazi. And then as Prophet said that it is the binding for both male and female to get education, basically.
Absolutely.
So when you have such a type of given you direction, then why people are not going for girls' education? That is a big question mark. And of course, and those especially the less developed countries are underdeveloped countries, they are having some issues, financial issues. Even in a country like Pakistan, we do have challenges, financial challenges. But alhamdulillah, now everybody knows that this is without education, nobody can survive.
True.
And no family can survive even unless you have the education. And both partners, they are not if they're contributing. Similarly, the challenges which we are facing, especially this new technology, AI, IT and other things, and what are the prospects, what are the future direction, things are changed. The original learning tools are changed basically. The original utilization of those tools into reality is changed basically. Now you don't need physically to be there to perform some duty or learn. Now it is totally different environment.
True.
So these were the challenges. They were all discussed. Then there was also felt that there is a very important need of the day that we also work together and complement each other, help each other. We have very good countries in Islamic world. I have honored working in ISESCO for a couple of years in Abbas. So I was heading this education, science, technology and culture organization, all activity in Islamic world. So we have wonderful institutions in Islamic world also.
Absolutely.
And many countries, they have done wonders in higher education, particularly in science and technology.
Exactly, which is why, sir, now let's speak about, if we are to kind of speak about girls' education in particular, certainly what happens is that, most of the families who actually live in the rural areas will have to come towards the urban centers to kind of get that quality education.
Not anymore.
And more, yes, exactly.
Not anymore, basically, due to this digital transformation, the online education. Now everybody can have access to anything.
Which is why I would want to kind of, highlight this very sector in particular, and which is why, because now imagine that, if you go to probably Lala Musa now or any other city, well, not really city or rural area, it's really even hard to kind of get internet over there. So for us to kind of make it accessible for children who are from rural areas or families from rural areas, it is at times a lot difficult. Now imagine even sitting in Islamabad, to use the internet actually becomes a challenge. Now imagine that this is a challenge that you and the ministry really need to kind of overcome in making sure that there's equal access to such digital opportunities for everyone. How do you think that you're working with probably Ministry of IT on this? That, hey, you know what, we need uninterrupted internet so that our courses can actually go seamlessly for all of those people who are out there in rural areas.
I think these are the recent challenges basically, and I hope that in next couple of weeks they should be overcoming of these challenges. Otherwise, our IT infrastructure is not that bad.
True.
Believe me, my universities, especially because I can talk easily on universities and campuses basically, in the remotest area, they have the access of all those facilities. Even we have provided them where they don't have the power, continuity of the power, we have provided them alternate arrangements so that they should have non-interrupted facilities available to our young people, girls, boys and everybody in faculty also. So it is not that bad, I should say. Second thing is, of course, at the school levels, even in federation, the ministry is doing wonderful job in the federal territory of creating a lot of good activities in our school system, even providing them state-of-the-art IT infrastructure, smart classroom, you name it, and all going. And similarly, in our provinces also, provincial governments are also putting a lot of resources in our education sector, particularly in lower education system, the school, college, and those type of things. And I think things are improving, but we need to continue do this improvement part. We should not stand there, because every next day it is a big challenge basically.
True.
Absolutely. Understanding everything that you've just said, and the girls' conference that just took place over the weekend, again, it was such an honor to see all of these dignitaries visit Pakistan, especially after the SCO, and just see Pakistan, be highlighted in such a positive light. I also want to come back to the actual conference itself and really understand the nitty-gritties of what you guys discussed over there, especially understanding, given your experience as well, what were some of the fundamental or repeated barriers to education that various delegates might have highlighted?
Basically, as Mr. Khan was giving you those thematic area, which was the focus of this conference, 5-6 areas basically, they were mostly around those things. But one thing was common to in every speech, whatever dignity speaking, or the participants speaking, or those key speaker like Prime Minister of Pakistan, the Secretary General OIC, Malala and other people. I think they were talking about those areas, especially like Gaza, Afghanistan, where they have the disturbance.
I was about to ask you that,
yeah, of course, and even Burma and other places, wherever they have the problem at the border, internal, external, and Syria and Lebanon, and you name it. No? So they were worried about, especially the girls in those areas, that there is a discontinuity in their education system, how to address those things. And again, the solution emerging was that using technology so that we should take those education things at their doorstep. And again, offline education, because right in those areas, internet availability is also a big challenge.
Yes.
So kind of reasonably affordable solutions to those kids, especially girls, and of course boys also, they are also suffering. Like recently, we are getting a lot of students from Palestine, especially in medical profession and engineering, they are coming in Pakistan.
This is wonderful news.
Yeah. Prime Minister Saab is very concerned, and he has ordered us that we have to provide all facility to those students in our university system.
And not just that, it's not even only limited to that as well. I think we've had students from Turkey, we've had students from Palestine.
We used to have students from all around,
exactly.
But after Afghanistan issue and then this terrorism issue, it was discontinued. Now, alhamdulillah, we are getting a lot of kind of interest from different countries. They want to send their students in Pakistan.
Exactly. But sir, I think it's a great initiative of the Ministry of Federal Education and Professional Training, for HEC to be there, for the Prime Minister Saab to actually go and inaugurate it himself. Yeah. Very quickly towards the end, sir, just a couple of questions. That is, so there was a formal signing ceremony of the Islamabad Declaration.
Yes.
What does that declaration declare?
Today in the newspaper, there's a big heading about these things. Basically, of course, reiterated that every Muslim country, they are going to put extra effort and resources for the girls' education. And same time, the perception created in the world about the not provision of the education is wrong, we have to correct it also.
True.
And then other nitty-gritty which they agree in different sessions. We have also signed, Kyrgyz government, we have signed an MOU in higher education sector, HEC, and the government is also willing to work together. Similarly, other countries, today I'm meeting few ministers, they were attending this meeting, and they are also interested that they want to work with Pakistan.
Wow, I think it's wonderful. But very quickly, sir, where we have actually congratulated you and the ministry and for all of those stakeholders who actually came together. Now, I have a question for you as the chairman HEC. Okay, so it does not have to do with the conference.
Don't ask me about degree attestation.
No, I mean, there's no degree attestation. What I would want to ask you, sir, now is that, now imagine that the world is actually evolving very quickly. Now, we do see a lot of students who are at probably 13 years of age or 14 years of age freelancing. Now, we do speak about artificial intelligence. But the major challenge over here is, and I might be unaware of the fact, so you can correct me, and that is, do you think that now there's a need for HEC to actually kind of bring in newer disciplines? Now imagine that I think that the world has moved away from probably BBAs and MBAs and all of those degrees which were supposedly important just to have a degree, right?
Mr. Khan, we are little reactionary people.
Okay.
We quickly get worried, and so things are changed. Of course, this is a time when it is mostly the skill-based education. Hand and skill. People are, the rest of the world is dying to get people. Allah, Pakistan is lucky that we have 150 plus million young people.
True.
So they are looking for the skill, hand and skill-based labor force, and which is Pakistan has abundant. So we are, it is even the Prime Minister of Pakistan is directly monitoring these things, how to provide the best education in IT, in nursing profession, in allied health sciences profession, which is the demand in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And they are not asking for degrees, they are asking for skill, basically. Yeah. This doesn't mean that we don't need the degrees and we don't need other disciplines. We have to keep the balance, but this at this moment, the demand is different. So we have to quickly adjust, and yes, we are doing it. We have started emerging, all those in degree program in emerging fields, like by 6, 7 there in IT and other fields. We have established 7 technical universities, skill-based university, like new tech.
On that.
Yeah, no, this is, we started, I think started from 2016 onward.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we have already established good institution in Pakistan, and things are there. But the important thing is that we quickly, go for buzzword and start running,
Yeah.
So I will request that it is not that bad. Alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
things are improving. We have to do better, of course. When we have to compete with the rest of the world, our educationers, our universities, our teachers, they have to put extra effort.
Exactly,
course,
but thank you so much,
definitely.
Dr. Saab,
Thank
for
you.
sharing this insight, with all of our viewers in 46 different countries. So HEC has already, ladies and gentlemen, worked with 7 different universities from 2016, which actually works on enhancing your skill set. So I think,
Absolutely.
there's nothing to be worried about. But thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you
Saab,
very
for
much.
being
Thank
with
you
us.
so
It's
much,
lovely to
Dr.
be in
Thank you,
conversation
Shahzad.
with you.
Wonderful.
And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, imagine that, if the Ministry of Education and Planning is working, or the HEC, or the Prime Minister is taking the initiative of making sure that, there are going to be 150 members, ambassadors, stakeholders coming together to speak about girl-child education or girls' education. I think what
Absolutely.
can get better than this? But while we are at it, I think to speak about the quality of education,
Yes.
there's something that I would want to share. But before I share that, I think there's something interesting that I would want to share, and that too for a little while, and that is that the crew abroad, the Shenzhou 19 spacecraft, conducted an in-orbit test for a pipe inspection robot and completed various other tasks, including scientific research and experiments and space station maintenance work.
Oh
The
my
crew
God.
members were sent into the space station in October for a 6-month mission. Now imagine, I think, it's just so interesting to kind of listen to these kind of news that this is actually happening. Now, so once again, what you're seeing on your screen is that the crew aboard Shenzhou 19 spacecraft conducted an orbit test for a pipe inspection robot and completed various other tasks, including scientific research and experiments and space station maintenance work. The crew members were sent into the space station in October for a 6-month mission. Look at that. These visuals are just so interesting to see. Don't you feel like going to space sometime?
Oh my God, yes, I want to go so bad.
And be out of this space?
Yeah.
That's perfectly all right. But high rice fields transformed into vibrant murals inspired by recent floods. A fierce red dragon, a sacred feline deity, and a stranded dog and cat have taken over the rice paddies in northern Thailand, a living artistic tribute to flooding that inundated nearby areas in September.
Absolutely.
Spreading across more than 2 hectares, these mystical creatures are the creation of a full-time factory worker and part-time farmer who is transforming rice paddies into artistic landscapes as his personal project. Wow. Starting last October, the farmer and his team began the meticulous process of creating artwork by using artificial intelligence to plot and refine the design outlines.
Oh my gosh, amazing. That's time and dedication right there.
Exactly. And not just that. Imagine that, he started from October. We're doing this, story probably in January now.
Yeah.
And imagine that a farmer is actually using or taking advantage of artificial intelligence. Really?
Oh my
So, which
goodness.
is why I'm going to connect it with where I said that the quality of education in our country, ladies and gentlemen, happens to be phenomenal. And it's because of the
Absolutely.
fact that there's this gentleman from LUMS University over here in Lahore who actually and first Pakistani to win the Nobel of High Performance Computing, which is the Gordon Bell Prize in Climate Modeling. I mean, the jargon is really very difficult for people to kind of understand, so I'm going to make it very simple for you. And that is that, people now finally to understand that the team's high-resolution climate emulator will actually translate into faster, more precise and actionable insights about climate change impacts at a local and global scale. For example, it will predict extreme weather events like floods, heat waves or hurricanes more accurately and even on smaller scales, so such as specific towns or neighborhoods. So imagine that if you knew before time that this is going to happen, probably, we'd
be better prepared.
Yeah, we can be better prepared as well. So kind of speak about, this amazing gentleman, ladies and gentlemen. He's an associate professor at LUMS, recipient of the Gordon Bell Prize in Climate Modeling. He is Dr. Zubair Khalid. Hello, assalamu alaikum, Dr. Saab. Good morning. Congratulations. How are you? Pakistan is proud of you, sir.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you, Shahzad, for your kind words. Truly appreciate. And thank you for hosting me.
Yeah, it was so difficult for me to kind of understand because the jargon was so difficult. So I'm glad that, towards the end of the article, there was like, okay, for a layperson to understand this is what. So, sir, first things first, how did you get started with this journey? We'll come down to the award and everything. But how did you get down to this? And, in the world of supercomputing, you've won a Nobel Prize for Pakistan.
Yeah, it all started back in 2022 when we started this project. We figured out that there's a need to have high resolution climate data so that we can address this climate change. and then we analyzed the data, and there was not high resolution data available. And when we discussed the challenges, and then it's all started back in 2022 when I visited KAUST for summer. And then we gathered a team of different people from multiple disciplines to work on this project.
Exactly. And while we're at it, I think in 2022, you were at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia University of Sciences and Technology, where it actually all started. But for you, Dr. Saab, you know, starting on a project from 2022 and then making sure that all of this will work on 4 out of 9 supercomputers in the world, if I'm not wrong. How does it feel, you know, in such a short span of time, you were able to do so much?
Yeah, in fact, for this award, people used to just scale their algorithms on supercomputers. But in this particular project, we also developed science as well. So I worked on the development of code algorithms and making sure that once we run these algorithms on different supercomputers, because all of these supercomputers come up with different architectures. So the method we develop or the algorithm we develop had to be scalable, had to be flexible enough so that we could run on different architectures, different supercomputers. Yeah, so it's thanks to the whole team who worked on this for 2 years. So we had people from climate science, we had people from high performance computing. So I was looking after the AI part and data science part, the development of algorithms. So yeah, so it was a multidisciplinary effort that enabled the completion of this project in 2 years.
Exactly. And Dr. Saab, you know, your project was actually titled Boosting Earth System Model Outputs and Saving Petabytes in Their Storage Using Exascale Climate Emulators. Please take us through this.
Okay, thank you, Shahzad. Yeah, so when it comes to climate data, so this climate data is typically coming from climate simulations. So these are complex systems, systems of equations, in fact. And to generate this climate data, we often need supercomputers. So we need a large amount of compute power to generate high resolution climate data. And that is necessary if we really want to address climate change. And once we have this data, another problem is where to store this data, because generating high resolution data would be billions of observations over time and in space. So we need a large amount of storage as well. So what we thought that how can we develop a smart tool that can generate something data that is very closely aligned with the climate simulation data. So we developed a smart tool that was trained on climate simulation data. But once it is trained, it can generate climate data on demand that is statistically consistent with what you're getting from those complex systems. So that was the whole idea, that we developed a system, we developed an emulator that can boost the power of existing Earth systems, and it can save petabytes of storage as well. So virtually we are saving infinite amount of petabytes because we can generate as much data as needed, right? And the word exascale here is that is because we could run at the exascale level on supercomputers. And yeah, you are right that we could run on the four supercomputers in the top 10, including the top one, which is the Frontier.
Interesting. So, doctors, we're understanding this whole concept of AI and how it's like the center of your research. Given how you're relating it to climate science and climate change, understanding the various phenomena, do you feel like this could be a little scary for those who don't completely understand how AI could be related to climate science? Maybe people have that hesitancy. How are you going to bridge that gap and help educate people who are still very confused regarding this matter?
Thank you, Naila, for this wonderful question. So these days, there is a lot of hype going on about how can we use AI to address climate change. So to understand climate change, so we can use AI to have better projections. So whenever we talk about climate change, you know what's happening in LA these days. So what happened in Punjab a couple of weeks ago, we had a very thick smog covering India and Pakistani Punjab. And if you go back in time, we had a very intense heat wave, right? So all of these are climate-related changes. And to address these, we can either have mitigation strategies or we can have adaptation strategies, right? And so to develop both of these strategies, we should have a better forecast, better projections of what is going to happen if, for example, Pakistan adopts EVs all over Pakistan, right? What is going to happen if the temperature rises by 1 degree? To carry out all these climate projections, the impact of these projections on climate, we can use AI.
Exactly, and in addition to this, Dr. Saab, so when we're talking about projections, obviously, so this is what the supercomputers will actually estimate for us to kind of know that, okay, you need to prepare accordingly. First of all, how accurate do they stand, with perspective to or with reference to however our systems are working earlier? And now I think that the wow element in your project is that, that the existing climate emulators will be surpassed by this one as a factor of 245,280, which is 3.25 kilometers spatial and hourly in time. I mean, it looks like as if you've got superpowers now.
It's mind-blowing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think both of those questions, the answer is coupled. So when we say how accurate these projections are, it all depends on how accurate we can model and what is the resolution at which we can model. So yeah, we could increase the resolution. When we say resolution, it means resolution in space and resolution in time. So when we talk about climate, so it's a spatio-temporal data, right? So temperature is varying in space and temperature is also varying in time. So we could generate the climate data at a spatial resolution of 3 kilometer and at hourly temporal resolution. So that was our advantage as compared to existing emulators, that we can carry out projections at such a spatial resolution. And things are not stopping here. And so people are trying to develop, researchers are trying to develop even 1 kilometer spatial resolution as well. And I think that is what is required like a climate scientist these days, that if they can achieve 1 kilometer spatial resolution, they feel that they can have better mitigation and adaptation strategies for climate change.
Exactly. And Dr. Saab, now how, for example, if I'm going to talk about Pakistan over here, how do you think that, that the Pakistan Meteorological Department will be able to kind of connect with, this entire system or wherever this supercomputer is working? Do you think that now it will be able to provide services to people all over the globe? Will it be a paid service? Or do you think, because you happen to be one of those people who've actually designed it from your own bare hands, how will it work now? And how do you think it will continue to benefit the mankind?
Yeah, when it comes to research, we typically make our research publicly available. So all the algorithms, all the code we have developed, that is available in the form of the paper publication. So that is publicly available, people can reproduce it. As far local context is concerned, we are working very closely with National Disaster Management Authority. And I'm also working very closely with Punjab government as well. So we are trying to address this smog issue at the moment. So very soon we will again experience smog, unfortunately. But it has been ongoing for the last 4 or 5 years. So yeah, the government is trying to develop some strategy to mitigate this, at least adapt or some resolution of this smog phenomena. So yeah, so local departments, meteorology department, so they all have to work together to address this challenge that is impacting all of us, all of our kids, education, infrastructure, and so on and so forth.
Obviously, but thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for being with us, for taking out time and, sharing it with us as well. And first of all, being the first Pakistani to actually be the recipient of the Gordon Bell Prize, actually is referred to as the Nobel Prize of Supercomputing. Absolutely. So congratulations to you. When next time, we're actually going to have you on our show, I would certainly want to see, Dr. Zubair as the professor at LUMS as well, rather than associate professor, because I think that LUMS will certainly, or LUMS do really need to kind of appreciate his efforts as well. But while we're at it, we're speaking about artificial intelligence. imagine how people are now going to use artificial intelligence. I think it's just different. OpenAI recently launched a free audio-only chat GPT via 1 to 800 chat GPT, through which users could engage in conversations for 15 minutes per month only. All right. Now what will happen? Imagine that the conversations centered on topics like medical advice, news, and AI concerns, while accurate on historical myths and moral anecdotes. It struggled with real-time updates, business details, and engagement tone. So, imagine that, you'll be able to call AI for 15 minutes and ask whatever you want to ask. So make sure that you do not consume all of your 15 minutes in one day, because, you might need other advice as well. So the service caters to those who prefer voice interaction rather than typing. And now imagine,
Absolutely.
so my friend had this service on his phone.
Okay.
And he asked his ChatGPT, do you know Shahzad Khan? Now imagine that the kind of responses that ChatGPT had.
What did he say? Tell me.
He actually said, oh, he's your friend, he worked for Pakistan television, so all of my data which is available online, he actually knew about everything.
Oh
and
God.
Even to that extent that the ChatGPT knew what illnesses I suffer from, or what surgeries I underwent, so for all of that information that you put out there, ladies and gentlemen, be really careful, because ChatGPT is using all of that information.
This is giving me massive Terminator vibes.
Yeah, so now just be careful, okay? For what you put out there, and I always speak about it. But while I'm at it,
can I
yeah,
just add
sure,
one
go
thing
ahead.
to it? So did
I'm
you
looking
guys,
for a job. You know what?
Yeah, well, that's what no,
sorry.
you are not. No, you are doing absolutely amazing for yourself. And so, viewers, as we know that ChatGPT is being used for a great deal of things to help you learn, to grow, and to get an insight about, the one, the only Shahzad. So, a lot of people, specifically one man, had used ChatGPT to apply to 1,000 jobs. Imagine.
And he got 50 interview calls as well.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Amazing. So he shared his story on Reddit, which is a social media platform, and he revealed how he really built an AI bot that managed the entire application process for him, from analyzing the job descriptions to customizing his CV and so forth, which was absolutely insane, but it worked. So
Exactly. So I think if it worked for him, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly how it actually worked for Harmas Ali Raja, who's actually with us. Now imagine that he's a hero for Pakistan, and Pakistan has been doing phenomenally well if you are to kind of speak about sports. Now imagine that he actually participated in boys under 11 title at the US Junior Open Squash Championship, and he won it. Now imagine, a press release, the tournament held in Philadelphia from December 14 to 17 is the world's largest individual squash event, boasting over 1,000 players from 51 countries. Harmas Ali Raja's gold medal was one of only a few titles not claimed by Egypt or the United States, making his victory even more significant for Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by the US Junior Open Squash Champion, who participated in Under 11 Squash Championship. He is Mr. Harmas Ali Raja. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Congratulations.
Welcome to the show. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for making us all promise. It's wonderful to have you over here.
Welcome.
How do you feel?
I feel very great to be a champion.
Alhamdulillah. Even we feel great, for us to actually have an under 11 squash champion who actually won in the Junior US Open Squash Championship, and to be over here on our morning show. Did you ever thought about it that once you will become the US Junior Open champion, that you will be on my morning show?
No.
No, which is why now you are here, alhamdulillah. So congratulations. Who would you want to thank on this amazing victory that you've had?
I want to thank my father, my coaches, my
Mashallah.
sponsors, and my coaches.
Okay, so how difficult was it? Now imagine that you weren't really at home. You're from Rawalpindi. You represent Pakistan Squash Federation as well. So you traveled all the way to Philadelphia to participate. There are 1,000 people participating from 51 different countries. Was it a little challenging?
My third round was challenging with the Colombian named Thomas, but my final was like not better than Colombian. My finalist was not better than Colombian, but my final was like the third round because it was so tough.
So what kept you going? I think this is exactly what I really need to know as a sportsman. What were you thinking while you were in your third round, and you knew that that the title's on the line? Was it too stressful, or were you like, okay, I'm going to give it my best no matter what?
It was like a little bit pressure on me because it was the title of US Junior Championship, and it was my last tournament in under 11, and it was like a little bit stressful.
A little bit stressful.
Okay, so how did you handle this pressure and this stress? Was there any anxiety? Did you just practice all day long? What was your routine like?
In the morning, I went to coach, the GHQ coach, to perform a morning session with my coach for goal, and then in evening I went to my Pakistan Squash Federation in Islamabad to perform my evening session with my coach Faraz Khan, and then like my diet was I have to eat 700 grams of meat daily.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, and was that difficult for you to kind of take that much of protein?
Yeah.
So how did you take it? Was it a steak? Was it just normal how we eat chicken? Was it steamed? Was it boiled?
Yeah, it was steamed.
Oh,
it was steamed, and you didn't like the taste, but you kept at it. I think it goes into preparation. So where you're thanking your father, your coaches, it's beautiful. Why don't you thank your mother as well? I think you need to take a moment to thank your mother because she's been the one, who's been cooking all of this food for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you want to say to your mother?
Thank you.
Aww.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Because what's the name of your mother?
Kiran.
Kiran Baji, congratulations to you. Your son has actually made the entire Pakistani nation
extremely proud
because of what he did. But what you did in the kitchen and generally as a mother for him is something that we really need to thank. And, we certainly will thank, parents, all of those coaches who are out there, who've actually made sure that they're going to invest their time and energy in Harmas. But while we're at it now, this was your last championship, under 11 championship.
Yeah.
Now, what are you aiming for? Are you going to go aim for the other championships as well?
Yeah, like in January it's being the British Junior Championship, and I'll play under 13, I think. So I want to win that and the World Juniors and the World Open, and I want to win the Olympics.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your medals that you have on. Show them off a little for us. Yeah.
This is the recent medal.
Congratulations, it's beautiful.
And there's the other one from Australia, I guess?
Yeah, I have lots of.
Yeah,
show them off. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Show them off.
That was my the biggest upset I did in Malaysia when I was 8 years old, and I won silver medal in under 11.
Local to खेल ही नहीं रहा. आगे चलो.
Next level.
Next one.
This is Australian Junior Open medal.
Wow.
Oh my
Bronze.
Wonderful.
I have two of them. Two of them.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that's just.
You are the shining star. You are one of the many shining stars that Pakistan
Asian Junior
has.
Gold.
So there's Asian Junior, there's Australian Junior, there's US Junior as
and
well.
And this is my national gold.
And then there's a national gold as well.
Oh
So imagine that the guy actually, Harmas, has gone through all of those, staircases that you really need to take, and, through the system, first winning the national, then representing in the Australian Junior, then representing us in the US Junior. Wow, I think we're just proud of you. So while we're at it, very quickly, for all of those kids who are actually watching you, how good of a student are you?
I'm a good student.
You're a good student?
Till 5th grade, I study in Westminster.
Wow, that's great.
And then now I'm in 6th, and I'm studying in Foster.
Well, I think that's wonderful. But thank you so much, Harmas, for being with us. Is there
Thank
anything that you would like to say to people who are out there who are listening to you? You're Pakistan's champion, yeah? Go ahead.
I want to say to PM that support us, the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Yep.
To support us, and Mariam Nawaz.
Saiba to actually support you as well, and not just that. I think Rana Mashood Sahab, who happens to be the chairman of the Prime Minister Youth Program as well. Rana Sahab, I think that your champion is over here. He was very well received. Obviously, he was taken to the Pakistan Squash Federation's office. Then he was taken to his place. I think everybody's celebrating. But the champion really needs the support of the Prime Minister of the country. And the support will be extended to you, inshallah.
Because I have a sponsor of Dunlop, but my rackets and my shirts come, but they have 4,60,000 tax on them.
All right, so you do not really want to pay the tax?
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of support that we can certainly I mean, I cannot say on behalf of the government of Pakistan, but you know, obviously, I think this is the kind of support that can be extended any day, no problem. So, you know, the message of the young champion who actually won the, you know, US as the under 11 squash championship, ladies and gentlemen, he's Harmas Ali Raja. Thank you so much for making us all proud, for raising the flag of Pakistan, you know, that too high as well. But while we're at it, ladies and gentlemen, birthdays are important days for everyone, you know. So today, one of my very dear friends, you know, who I have spent a lot of time with, is celebrating his birthday. So I would want to congratulate Mr. Zubair Khalid for celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And it's his mother's birthday as well. So wow, I think it's wonderful. और जुनैद भाई, मैं आपको बार-बार कहता हूँ कि सर से ज़्यादा आपके मुंह पे बाल हैं, तो प्लीज मेक श्योर कि आप जो गंज करा लें, बहुत अच्छे लगेंगे. So जुनैद भाई, congratulations to do a very happy birthday to you. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. And he's my friend, that's why I can say that. Look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. It's a good morning. Bye.